Everybody. I am a Star Wars fan, if you can't tell, okay? And I saw a little article video from Tech Insider, and I'm looking at it right now on my screen. Sorry, hey, hope you can see me. From Tech Insider saying, here's the headline. Scientists say blowing up the Death Star, the second Death Star, over the moon of Endor should have caused a catastrophic result. And it goes on to show like a meteor hit coming down and annihilating everything on Endor, on the Endor moon, and annihilating it. Just everything burns and a giant dust cloud and everything you would go think of when an asteroid hits. And yeah, that's when an asteroid hits. Okay, we're talking about the Death Star, which is a space station. Okay, it's not a giant chunk of rock. And I actually posted this video on Max RD's All Things Star Wars and got a hit from another Star Wars fan. And he asked me, and I said, and what I said was, I disagree. If anybody's ever had a bucket of metal thrown at them rather than a giant rock the same size, like 1 or 2 feet around, then they would know the difference, because the Death Star was not okay. I wrote it up, right, so I figured this got to be a really long forum post, so I'll just make a video, okay? And I'm using my what I wrote. I'm looking at on the screen as a kind of bullet point script. Hopefully, you can see me okay. Uh, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Like that. Haha, perfect. Okay, good background. Okay, here's my bullet points. I'm not even looking at myself, and I hope you can hear me. And I said, I'm not going into details. And the guy said, oh, please do go into detail. I'm like, okay, I'll go into detail. And this was a long thing. And it starts about here. And I said, well, we know what an asteroid can do from historical and prehistoric records of fossils and geology. And we do. We have records of that. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and they're actually named things like meteor crater this, and there's lakes formed by meteor hits. And the theory is that a giant meteor hit took out the dinosaurs because it changed the environment. I have my own ideas about that, but whatever, another time. And we also know what happens when our space station came down. Now, it didn't explode, right? But we know what happened. And it wasn't very dramatic. Not a lot happened. Bits and pieces all over the place. And they were just barely recognizable if we didn't already know. Okay, and the second Death Star, well, both of them, right? But the second Death Star was close, but it was hollow. It was mostly hollow because you got people in there. And I don't care how well built something is, something designed for zero gravity, falling into a giant gravity well, into high gravity, would be torn apart a lot like our own space station was. Because, okay, you take something, it's things are built differently in zero G than it is for gravity environments. Look at everything that we have pictures of that we've made, that we've put up there. They're built different, okay? There's a different theory behind it. There's a different idea. Okay, comparing a space station like that, okay, even I don't care how solid it is, but comparing a space station, a very solidly built space station, let's say with its own imaginary gravity generators. Okay, stone can now this is talking about entry, all right? Stone can withstand a lot of stress. I mean, a lot of stress. Okay, you can roll. Okay, a car versus a boulder is a good example. Okay, a car rolling down a giant hill or cliff. Okay, yeah, is not going to fare as well. Now, cars are very well built. Okay, let's say a big car, big tough car, one that can withstand a lot of accidents and things, rolling down a cliff. Now, if you take a boulder about the same size, okay? Size. Not density, not anything like that. Just the general size and weight of a car. Roll it down a hill. When you get the car down to the bottom of the hill, you're not going to have a car left. You're going to have a scrap metal with maybe some frame parts. When you roll a boulder down the side of a hill, you're going to have a boulder on the bottom of a hill because it's going to withstand that kind of stress. And we've also seen that okay, let me get back to my bullet points. Okay, if a meteor falls out of the sky, the size of the Death Star, it's going to cause an extinction level event. But a space station wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be near as dramatic. Most stuff on any space station that I'm aware of, I'm talking about in real life. I don't know what Durasteel does because we don't have Durasteel. That's Star Wars. That's cool, but it's Star Wars. Now, a rock falling out of the sky would cause that kind of event, but not a space station. A space station, yeah, it would cause a little bit, but it wouldn't cause the same kinds of things as a giant rock because you have a single giant rock falling, not a billion pieces of metal that are already losing their temper from being okay. Metal shears easier than rock, car and the boulder, right? And wind resistance. When a piece of something catches the wind, it's going away. Okay, it's gonna break. It's gonna break off of whatever it is, and it's probably gonna break apart too. It'll be ripped apart. Hurricane damage. That, along with gravity, being in a gravity well, would break it down, even if it was burning at the time. Okay, now here's another point. Now, see, I don't know a lot of this stuff. I just know from what I've read and studied about materials and whatnot. I'm not sure of any metal that, if a metal starts to burn, would it continue to burn once it's outside of entry? And if it's slow enough to, once it's inside the atmosphere, it's going to slow down. Okay, now that, right? Okay, next point is the impact. And by the time it is substantially broken up, by the time it breaks through the atmosphere and slows down, here it is, assuming it was in an orbit as we would do it, Earth humans, like 13,000 miles, I think, per hour to assume a stable orbit. Now that's with unpowered flight and only course correction. The Death Star 2 is gigantic. It would have to have powered flight as well as course correction. So, all right. Where are we at? Impact. Okay. So we've got many millions. Now, it's going to come down dramatically, but it's not going to cause a giant crater. It might cause lots of little craters, but it's not going to, okay. And not, okay. All right, here we go. Point. Sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. I need to stick to what I have written. Stone can withstand a hell of an impact and make a crater. It also breaks up on impact, as we have seen. Metal, from what little I know of high-impact metal events, cannot. Bullets, cars, planes. And I've read about them. I've never witnessed them. It bends, deforms, breaks down, all kinds of things. The heat causes it to lose temper. The impact causes it to shear. And then again, you have something designed for outside gravity, entering gravity, and all of a sudden having that stress on top of everything else. Okay. And not talking car wreck speeds, sound barrier speeds, close to the sound barrier. Also while quickly decelerating. And if a plane or anything hits like the side of a mountain at that kind of speed, there's not a lot of it left to even identify that it was a plane at one time. And unless we know better in the beginning. and I don't really know what else to compare it to. I don't agree with that. It makes a great video. The guy animated it nicely. Uh, Ewoks dead, moon destroyed, decimated, but I don't think it would be like that. I think it would be more like a bunch of little crap killing a few Ewoks. Maybe some forest would go on fire. I don't know what the reactor would have already blown up. Of course, that was in the movie. But that's that. Would the second Death Star over the moon of Endor cause an extinction level event if it crashed after it blew up and after it went through an atmosphere? No, I don't think it would have. So, no, Tech Insider. I don't care what your scientists think. Your science is flawed. Your kung fu is bad. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Oh, there's somebody. There's the guy commenting back to me. Okay. Stop talking about stuff you don't know about Tech Insider. I'll do that for both of us. Out of here. Bye-bye.